What is cultural Hegelianism? Cultural Hegelianism is not, it becomes. And my purpose is to conceptualize the whole of being. And I know myself to be what Hegel calls reason. Namely, I know that my consciousness is one with the world. And my purpose, I am logically determined to seek to integrate and to absorb the whole of being within my mind. I know it sounds crazy, but the starting point of cultural Hegelianism, I thought about it in 2018 and I did not fully understand, but for me it was just to show to others that Hegel's philosophy, which includes the anti-Hegelian, post-Hegelian philosophers, religion, most notably the mysticism of Evola, and modern pop culture, were free modes of revealing what I called Christ consciousness or absolute spirit to itself. But it is implied in the concept of cultural Hegelianism to include within itself all the layers of being. And being is one because there is only one being, and all the layers of being, physics, chemistry, biology, subjective spirit, namely the soul, and anthropology, psychology, objective spirit, which is law, geopolitics, history, economics, sociology, absolute spirit, that which I've just talked about, and logic, and all the artificial distinctions that men use in order to conceptualize being. They are all interconnected and in a reciprocal unity with one another. And it's not that I want, it's that I am programmed to incorporate within this living system, which is independent of my own empirical will. It's a self-movement. I am programmed to incorporate within my consciousness the whole of reality, which means all the negations, all the counter arguments, and to always grow stronger and more holistic, and to incorporate more and more. And what this means is that just yesterday I watched a video about astrology, and as an empirical individual, I am a rationalist in the sense of I don't believe in astral influences and the movements of the planet which influence, but I don't believe what at the same time believing, because I know that the moon has a strong influence upon my psyche. And yeah, but I am a Hegelian, and I know that Hegel, for instance, his philosophy was an attempt to reconcile, his philosophy of nature, to reconcile what we call pseudoscience, which is occult influences, with rationalistic science. So it was the unity of both. And I've just gathered information about the New Age and the New Age spirituality, and my purpose is to incorporate the whole of being, all the aspects of being and existence within the self-movement of the conceptualization of reality. It is reality conceptually grasping itself. And I don't know who you are as an empirical individual watching this, but if you think that I am a white nationalist because I made videos about white nationalism, or that I am a pagan, or because I made videos about paganism. You are partly right but partly wrong, because my purpose is to include the whole of reality within a thinking experience of being, which is the very movement of philosophy. And my purpose is to solve all contradictions, and by rationally explaining the movement of consciousness, which is one with the movement of reality, because, as Spinoza says, the order and the connection of ideas is identical with the order and the connection of things, and we are a being which thinks its own affections, and the emotions that we feel transform into thoughts, and the thoughts that we share transforms into emotion, and that's a reciprocal interaction. And this is the whole movement of the development of the life of the absolute. And I want to have a full understanding of the whole of reality. And if you follow me, but I know that strictly speaking you have no choice, because at some point the whole of reality will be incorporated into the self movement of being becoming conscious of itself. But what my system, which is not my system, it is the self cognitive process of reality, what it offers is suffering and pain and exhaustion and tragedy, but also comedy and a full intellectual understanding. And the more, right now my channel, I make 5 views for each video, and that's quite pathetic, but I understand why, because I have not solved the contradictions, and at some point I will make more views and it will spread, and people will start to understand what I mean, and they will start to think of themselves as being a moment in the development of reality becoming fully conscious of itself. And the greatest gift that but I don't do it empirically, the greatest gift that the movement of reality, which I call cultural Hegelianism, but that's just a name, it's the self-cognition of reality, it's the substance, as Spinoza says, becoming subject, becoming conscious of itself. It's all the windows of consciousness open on nature, which become conscious of themselves, and the process of self-cognition. So the greatest gift, which is also a curse, but that's dialectics, the greatest gift that this process can offer is to help and to enable each individual consciousness to have progressively a full understanding of its entire existence, because each individual existence is connected to the totality of being. And what the system can achieve is a full enlightenment. And the more you understand the process, the more you will understand what happens in the daily news, the meaning of songs you like, of movies you've watched, of video games you've played, of authors you've read, of discussions you've had, of past experiences, of your personal individual development, of the world history. All that will become more and more intellectually intelligible, and this process of the whole of reality becoming conscious of itself through each part contemplating the whole, and the whole contemplating itself through each part, is the process of God becoming actual. I know it sounds overwhelming and kind of scary, and it is, but the process will swallow me. My empirical self will be annihilated in the process, but that's part of the plan. And I have difficulties as an empirical individual to accept it, because I care, in spite of of my best wishes. I care about this empirical being, but I must learn to renounce myself, to recover my real self. And that's difficult, but deep down I know that I can do it. And what it means in a concrete way is that I receive, as an empirical individual, I receive information from everywhere. The news, the books I read, the conversations I have, the whole of being. I am constantly bombarded with information from everywhere, and I try to transform, with my limited cognitive ability, to transform the information that I gather, and I share those information as long as I can on this video. And this is a dialectical process of integrating information, transforming through my own interpretation, which is determined by my knowledge, by my cognitive abilities, which are limited, and I share the information, and the other receive the information that I share, and progressively it will transform their mind, and they will share information, and it will spread. I don't know how long it will take, maybe a few weeks, a few months. I don't think it's going to take many years, because the current situation is kind of critical. But it's a dialectical process of sharing information, and this is spirit, which is the absolute reality, becoming conscious of itself. So I don't know what you, whoever you are, I don't know what you expect of me and my channel and my videos, and I'm sorry if you think that some of my videos are beyond comprehension, or are silly or stupid or incoherent. I understand that you don't understand, but what I can promise is that at some moment you will understand. And I know that those who have been following me will hate me at some point, because I will turn into what they don't want me to be. And it's part of the process, but the whole process of spirit consists in reconciling itself with itself and with the whole of reality. And yeah, so I'm doing my best with the limited capabilities of this empirical me of mine. But cultural Hegelianism is not just a YouTube channel. It's the whole movement of reality, and it's constantly self-actualizing and gathering information and structuring and ordering information. And that's all I can say for now. And yeah.